Our world. The only planet in the universe that we know of to have biological life. 99% of all species in the world are extinct. 75% of the remaining species will be extinct in the next 300 years. Our planet is 4.55 billion years old. The current 1/3 of the universe is a breathable atmosphere wrapped around a heavy iron core and a lighter rocky crust. We are in the 21st century, and to date, 106 billion people have lived on our planet. Despite this, we know very little about the world. For example, more than 95% of the oceans are yet to be discovered. So how was our house formed? And what did it consist of? When we look at the past of our world, we can say that it rotated faster 600 million years ago. At that time, one day on Earth was 22 hours. The world is slowing down, and the data we have shows that our world will one day stop. Yes, after about 50 billion years. Considering that the remaining life of the Sun is 5 billion years, we will never see it. About 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was formed from a gigantic cloud of gas and the remnants of end-of-life stars. The gas cloud thickened and a spinning disk formed. Small pieces began to pile up and turn into larger and larger objects. As a result, structures called planets were formed. Although the formation of the world is still not fully understood, it is estimated that it took between 10 and 20 million years. In the past, when our solar system was much more chaotic, Earth collided with an object the size of Mars. The impact of this planet called Theia on our world was so severe that if the saddle was a little bigger, the world would have been completely destroyed. The material scattered around in the collision entered orbit and formed the Moon. The Moon is the largest satellite in our solar system relative to its planet. Earth looked like a hell that had fallen from an asteroid storm. It had seas of lava and a toxic atmosphere. Then millions of years passed. The world has cooled. The water on the ground came to the surface and clouds formed. It rained. Millions of asteroids continued to bring water to Earth. The volume of all the water on Earth is equal to this huge blue sphere with a diameter of 1,385 kilometers. The small blue sphere with a diameter of 273 kilometers represents the world's drinkable fresh water. This third sphere, which you can hardly see, is only 56 kilometers in diameter and represents the water in rivers and lakes that we need to sustain our lives. In recent years, French, German and Russian scientists have discovered a giant ocean deep in the Earth's crust. According to the article written in Nature magazine, this hidden ocean is located in a huge rock 660 kilometers below the surface and contains 3 times more water than the oceans in the world. Remaining from the Archean age of Earth's rock layers, this ocean is about 2.7 billion years old. As the Earth cooled over time, the surface formed a thin crust, but the molten rock inside continued to churning. The Earth's crust is covered with about 12 giant polacs. The converging plates collided after a while, and landforms were formed from these collisions. Earthquakes and volcanoes occurred. It was plate tectonics that caused all this, and it still continues today. Each continent moves an average of 2 centimeters per year. Earth is the only planet in the solar system with plate tectonics. And without plate motion, carbon cannot be consumed and regenerated. The Earth will overheat, just like Venus. Earth's thin crust is made up of giant chunks and it's moving. They form giant mountains where the pieces meet, where they reach the bottom and form giant pits. This is how Everest, the highest point in the world, and the Mariana Trench, the deepest point, were formed. But on Earth, it is found in artificially created places deeper than the Mariana Pit. One of them is Kola deep drilling. This drill is a technology racing product that Soviet Russia used during the Cold War. It descends to a depth of 12,266 meters. These mountains and pits can appear huge and deep. You might even think that the world is very rough, indented. But if we had a hand big enough to hold the ball, we would actually think it was as smooth as a bowling ball. The crust we are standing on is about 50 kilometers thick. This value can vary between 5 and 100 kilometers. After the crust comes the mantle, a layer of silicate stone 2,900 kilometers thick. The part bearing the plates is called the lithosphere. The lower mantle extends to the outer core of the Earth. Earth's outer core of 2,260 kilometers is a pool of liquid nickel and iron. The temperature fluctuates between 4,000 and 5,700 degrees Celsius. In the center is the inner core. Solid substance consisting of an alloy of iron and nickel. 70% of the size of the Moon with a radius of 1,200 kilometers and a temperature of about 5,500 degrees Celsius. Hot as the surface of the Sun. Although hot enough to be a core, the pressure on the core is so high that iron cannot melt at this temperature. What about the Earth's magnetic field? The magnetic field deflects harmful rays from the Sun and other sources, creating a stable environment for the Earth. That's why very little cosmic radiation reaches Earth. While it is not known why the Earth has a magnetic field, We do know that it has to do with the Earth's core. Inside this metal sphere, very high electric currents flow in complex ways. These currents create a kind of constant magnetic field. Thus, our world becomes habitable. If you subscribe to our channel and like our video, you will give us great support. You are our motivation. See you in the new video.